Okay guys, so here we are with the diagram of how the price is going to influence the quantity a consumer is going to demand, or the quantity the consumer is going to purchase. So as we mentioned earlier, so here we have two things. When we talk about how the price is going to influence the quantity demanded for a product, there will either be an extension or a contraction. Now, an extension of demand refers to an increase in quantity demanded of any product that happens only and only due to a fall in price. So let's see how it works on a diagram. First and foremost, you need to make sure that whenever you draw the curve, the demand curve, you need to label the axis because that has marks in your Cambridge exams. Okay? So on the x-axis, you have quantity demanded, and on the y-axis, you have the price. Now this price is the price of a product for one single unit, okay? And one more thing, that the demand curve is always downward sloping. Now that is, it slopes downwards from the y-axis to the x-axis. Now this means that when you are going to decrease the price of the product, the quantity demanded for the product is going to increase because that's what makes it downward sloping, okay? This is known as the extension of demand. As we can see, that I've taken the example of chocolates, for example, the demand for chocolates, and this is basically an individual's demand curve for any person. And if the price of a chocolate bar is 100, right? So the person is going to demand 2 chocolates in a day, and if the price falls to 50, he's going to demand 4 chocolates in a day. Now it can be in a day, it can be in a year, in a month. It depends on what you want to show in your exam, because one thing you need to understand, that whenever we are going to measure the quantity demanded, it is always measured in a specific time period, which can be a day, a week, a year, okay? So in our example, it was a day. So this is known as extension of demand. The demand extends, it extends from A to B, and there is a movement along the same demand curve. We are doing this extension on the same demand curve. Now let's move on to the contraction of demand. The contraction of demand means the demand contracts, that is, the quantity demanded decreases. And why it decreases? It decreases because of an increase in the price of the product. So for example, we have demand for watches. Now again, the same rule, x-axis we have quantity demanded, y-axis we have price, and the demand curve is downward sloping. So this diagram tells us that if the price of the watch is 3000, I am going to buy 2 watches in a month. Now over here, I've taken the time period in a month. It's my wish according to what I take. So 3000, if the price is 3000, 2 watches in a month. If the price rises to 6000, the quantity of watches demanded falls to 1. Okay, so from 2 watches in a month, I am now going to demand 1 watch in a month because the watch has now become expensive for me. Okay, so when the price is going to rise, it will become expensive for me to buy 2 watches. So when the price rises, I'm now only going to buy 1 watch. One thing you all need to understand over here is that all the other factors that we mentioned previously, that is advertising, price of substitutes, price of complements, population, all of those factors over here we have kept constant, we have kept fixed. And in this diagram we are showing how only and only price is going to influence the quantity of the product or the number of units the consumer is going to demand. Only the effect of price we are showing through this diagram. And whenever there is only a change in price, there is always a movement along the same demand curve. I am going to repeat that whenever there is a change in price only, there will always going to be a movement along the same demand curve. Okay, so guys, here was the basic concept of how price influences quantity demanded. I hope you guys enjoyed it.